Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. We're back in Unreal Engine 4 working on our point-and-click game. This one's not going to be really affecting the inventory system. This one's going to be the room transition animation that I had shown a demonstration of. I'll have a link of it right now so you can check it out if you haven't seen it already. But just to demonstrate what that is, I'll show you right now. So we have this trigger right here. It's just a normal trigger box. And once we actually contact it, the screen will fade and fade back in, and it will teleport us to pretty much a random screen space location. So let's do it again. So it's just for, like point-and-click games when you reach the end of the room and like it transitions out and transitions you back into the new scene. It's something for that. Right now I just have basic functionality working. I can change the location of it at any time at this point. So it's exactly what I want. So I'll show you guys how to make that. So the first thing we're going to do first is going to draw out a trigger box. And just make sure it's relatively on the same plane as everything else. So that should do. And I'll drag it up. And what else we're going to do here is there should be, here we go, under rendering, actor hidden in game. We want to uncheck that just so when we play we can see it, and if we play right now you can see it right there. So now that we got that going, what we're first going to do is go into our event graph for actually our level blueprint. So let's go to open level blueprint. Just tab that. Let's exit out of the inventory and the inventory child. We don't need those up. And the first thing we're going to do in the level inventory, not the level inventory, I'm sorry, the level blueprint is at event begin play. We're first going to get a reference to our player character. So let's drag out, let's do get all actors of class. Let's do p_c_character. Drag this out, do get, and then cast to PC character, plug them in, and then promote this to a variable and name it character reference. Spell reference correctly. So now we got a reference to our character, so that means we can basically call the character and any kind of functions within the character class itself. But before we do that, let's go into the character class here, or the character blueprint, I should say. And what we're going to do, we're going to create a new variable. It's going to be a boolean. And we're going to call it bPlayerTeleport. We're going to do that because we want to reference the fact that the player is teleporting, and we want to call certain things when he is or is not teleporting at that time. So now that we got that going, what we're going to do, let's go into our HUD. And right here, this is where we draw the menu bar. Just grab all that, just drag it out. And what we're going to do is basically a check to see if the player is teleporting or not. Because if he's teleporting, we don't want to show the menu bar or anything like that. All we really want to do is have the screen hidden and unhide itself, kind of like what we saw in the demonstration. So let's grab an event begin play. And we're going to do the same thing that we did in the level blueprint. So let's copy and paste that. And let's remake the character reference variable. I think in the level blueprint I spelled character wrong. So let's fix that. Okay, now that we have the character reference in the HUD, what we're going to do here from the sequence, we're basically going to do a branch just to see if the player's teleporting or not. So let's grab a character reference. We need to grab that player teleporting. And one thing I forgot to really emphasize is in the variables here for bPlayerTeleport, just check the I just to make sure it's a public variable. So if you're not seeing it when you add it here, that's probably why. So you can make it public by clicking that, making sure the I is open. And now that we have the player teleport, we can just drag out to a branch, And just for organizational purposes, we can just stack them like that. So if the player is not teleporting, that's when we won't basically show the menu bar. So that's all we really need to do in the HUD. So what we're going to do now is go back into our level blueprint itself. Let's grab our trigger, make sure it's selected in your scene. Now right click, we're basically going to add create a reference to the trigger box. We're going to get the actor's location of that box. And what we're going to do is basically set this location to our current mouse position. So I don't know why I made a comment, but let's grab our character reference. Let's do set current. Actually, no. We can't call that yet because that's not public. So let's go back into our character where it says current mouse position. Let's make that public too. Compile it again, go back into our level blueprint, and now we should be able to set current mouse position. We're going to set that. And what we're going to do to call the set is basically for the trigger when we collide with it. So add event for trigger box 1, collision, add actor on actor begin overlap. So basically what we're doing when the player overlaps the trigger box, we're going to get the location of that trigger box and make it the current mouse position just so the player kind of like leans into the box as well and it looks more natural. And then what we're going to do is copy paste the character reference. We're going to do player teleport. We're going to set that to true because this is where he'll be teleporting. And then once we got that going, what we're going to need to do now is make a new macro. So let's click on macro. We'll call this player room transition animation. All we're really going to need is an execution. I'm sorry, I can't speak. An execution pin for in. We can also do an execution pin for out. And what we need to do now is create a matinee inner scene. This is how I got the screen to fade to black and back to full on, I believe, opacity there. So let's right click. Let's try. Okay, it's not going to be in there. So let's try all classes. And let's just type in matinee up here. Drag in our matinee actor. Let's go ahead and make sure we have rewind on play checked. And we're going to make the billboard scale, make that 5 just so we can see it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up that matinee. It opens up in a new tabbed window for us. And this is where we're going to make our actual animation. So give me just a moment. We'll start on that. So what we're going to do here is right click and add a new director group. And the overall time of this animation is going to be 2 seconds. So let's just grab the red bar here, move it all the way to 2 seconds, and make sure to turn on snap up here. You can press S to toggle it on. And then you can actually change the snap settings here. Right now it's at 0.5, which is fine. And let's just make sure our green scaling takes up the whole thing. And now we're going to right click on the director group, the dirt group, and we're going to do a new fade track. And so what we're going to do, we're going to make a couple of keyframes. We're going to make a keyframe at 0. We're going to make a keyframe at 1 second. We're going to make another keyframe at 1.5 seconds. And then we're going to make another keyframe at 2 seconds. And what we're going to set these to, 1 means the screen's going to turn black. 0 means the screen's going to be full on. You can see everything. So at the 1 second, we're going to make this 1. At 1.5, we're going to keep it at 1. And at 2 seconds, we're going to have it at 0. And at the beginning, we're going to have it at 0. So all you have to do is right-click, set value, and then you can change the value there. And now if I move this out of the way and we look at our scene, I'm going to move everything here. So what I do, just to kind of bring it back in, you just click on this camera so you can see what this director group is doing. It'll turn yellow. Now from 0 to 2 seconds, I'm bringing it here. So we're at 1 second. and then at 1.5 seconds, and then at 2 seconds we come back in. So if I just hit play, that's what it looks like. So that's all we have to do for that matinee sequence. So it's pretty simple. But now that we have that going, let's grab that matinee actor. Let me also unfilter that. Let's grab that, go back into our level blueprint. Right now we're in our macro that we made. What we're going to do is create a reference to matinee actor 1. Pull out a pin, type in play. Organize this appropriately. Plug that into the in. Let's move the output for now. And then we're going to throw in a delay. And then we're going to pause it, because the reason why we're giving it a 1 second delay is because it has that pause in the animation itself. So we're just going to pause it just to make sure we can have as long of a length that we want where it's dark. And then this is where we're actually going to have to go back into the player character class, and we're going to make a new function called teleport player. So let me make sure everything's saved, just because this is where things tend to break for me. Whenever I make a custom event now, it kind of crashes the engine. So let's see if it doesn't this time. So add custom event, name it teleport player. Cool, it didn't break. And what we're going to do is, let's grab our sprite. So if you don't see the sprite, you're going to have to go ahead and show inherited variables. It's going to be under character, right there, sprite. Let's left click, hold down control, left click, drag it out. And what we're going to do is set flipbook. And we're going to set this to idle animation. So as soon as he starts teleporting, his animation is going to be idle. And then what we're going to do here is right click, type in teleport. Plug that in. And so what we're going to need to do, first we'll do the rotation. All we're going to really do is get actor rotation. Because we want to keep the direction the player is facing when he's teleporting. You can change that, obviously, but for right now we're going to keep it so it's stationary. And then for destination location, that's where we're going to make something kind of fancy for right now. Let's right click, let's get actor location. Let's break that vector. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a random float in range. Grab 2 of these. The first one's got to have a range of -1,000 to 1,000. You can make these anything you want. Second one's going to be -750 to 750. And what we're going to do, we're going to grab the Y pin. We're going to do make vector. So plug the Y into Y, because for 2D, X is the X direction, and then the Z direction is up and down. So X is left and right, Y is in and out, Z is up and down. And then we're going to take that make vector result, and we're going to plug it into the destination location. And then what we're going to need to do, we're going to have to set. It doesn't look like we have this variable in here. Yeah, we do. The bMove character. Not move character, bMove camera. We're going to set that to false. We're going to just make sure the camera doesn't move while we're teleporting. We're going to set a delay of about 2 seconds. And then we're going to set B player teleport. We're going to set that back to false. Let's just make sure. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So this is our teleport function, our event teleport player. It sets the flipbook to idle animation, generates a random location on screen to teleport to. It keeps the actor's location and rotate. I'm sorry, not location. It keeps the actor's rotation. Tells it not to move the camera. It waits 2 seconds, and it tells us that the player's not teleporting anymore. So that's all we need for that. Let's compile, let's save. Let's go back to the level blueprint. And now from the pause, this is where we can grab our character reference again, drag it out to teleport player. And then we can delay. Let's grab that pin. Let's delay about a second. And then we can play our matinee again. Oops. And then we can just grab our output, plug it in. And then all we have to do is throw in that macro. And plug it up. Okay, and that should do it. So let's just test it out first. And there we go. It looks like the delays are a little off. Let's go into the room transition. Let's try 1.2 for that. Doesn't look like he teleported. That's kind of weird. Oh, we made it 12 seconds. I'm stupid. 1.2. Let's try it now. There we go. Now we're kind of teleported in a part. I don't know where we are. There we go. And we got it working. So what we did, we went to the actual level blueprint itself. We created the trigger. Right here, it's a box trigger. We made sure that the box trigger was, for right now, we just have it so we can make sure that we see it in the game. So we unchecked act hidden in game. Everything else is default. And then what we did is, when we overlap with that trigger box, we get the location of that trigger box, and we set it to the current mouse position of the player. And what that does really is, I'll show you if it's kind of subtle, but so say for example that I'm right here and I click above it, it'll just set it to the mouse position so he just stops at the trigger box and doesn't move past it. So that's what that does. And then once we do that, we tell the game that, hey, yeah, we are teleporting. And what that does, again, what we set up in the HUD. So basically when the player's teleporting, we won't be able to see the menu bar. We also set it where we can just copy and paste this. We could set it for the draw mouse cursor as well, if you want. So if he's teleporting, the mouse cursor disappears. So let's try that out. So we're teleporting, I don't see my mouse. And then we're back, and there's my mouse. And we can see our menu bar again. And then while I'm teleporting as well, you can't see my menu bar. So everything's working with that. And then once we set the player teleport to true, we go into the player room transition, and we play that matinee that we made. So we have the matinee actor here, and we made sure we checked rewind on play, just because it allows us to play that animation multiple times. So as soon as it plays, it rewinds and it has it get ready to play it again. And we're setting the play rate to 1. And if we open up the matinee, it's just a director group with 4 keyframes for fading. At 0 seconds, it's at the value of 0. At 1 second, it's at the value of 1. At 1.5 seconds, it stays at the value of 1. And at 2 seconds, it goes back to the value of 0. So from 0 to 1, it makes the transition for you can see everything, and then it's fully dark, and then it stays fully dark for about half a second, and then another half a second, it goes back to where you can see everything again. So we play that matinee. At about 1.2 seconds, we pause it. So we delay for about 1.2 seconds, so we let it play for that amount of time. We pause where it's at, and at that point, at 1.2 seconds, it's dark. So once it's dark, we teleport the player. So that's the function we created in our character class for teleport player. That's where we set the flipbook to idle animation, and we teleport the actor to a random location that we made here, and we conserve its rotation. We make sure that the move camera is false. We delay about 2 seconds, and then we tell the game that we're not teleporting again. So that's what the teleport function is doing for the teleport player. And then after a second, after that gets called, we play the rest of the animation. And that's basically the screen coming back to life. So that's everything. So let's just demo it one more time. And there you go. So that's going to be the end of this tutorial, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye! Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you haven't already, either click on me or click on the subscribe button to subscribe to Devin Level Design for more videos on tutorials, examples, all things related to my career in the game development side of things. And click on the videos on the right for more blueprint examples, for more tutorials, things of that nature. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Share this video if you enjoyed the contents. Like it as well. Leave comments and let me know what's going on. Let me know if you have any issues or if you have anything you want to share with me, because I'm definitely interested in seeing that kind of stuff as well. So thanks again for watching, guys. See you later.